Just tested.
Bruno's truck ran red light and Rush evidently hit it on the passenger side because Shane's got a couple of broken bones in his hand or wrist or whatever. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever met her, little Wendy. She used to work the Greatest Nut. Not the one you were all real familiar with. You will know. Anyway, she's right up in Mark. Right.
Sure, sure.
There's retirement planning education, there's investment planning education.
I think it might be just as good to break it out so that
Okay.
people understand.
What are you doing?
Rex loves the camera. You gotta watch proper pudding techniques.
Hey, similarly to... Dad, just get me. Quit doing that.
Sure.
God damn. All right. Go away.
There's no reason to unpack this monitor.
What monitor is it?
It's an extra rental monitor.
Because we have an extra monitor.
There may be a reason to unpack it.
There may be, but there may not be.
Oh, did you bring it to work in your room or something? I got my microphone upstairs. I'll take it up. Got the pinball game. And I'm cool. Hey, ooh, that is cool. You do have the pinball game. Yeah. Yeah, man, we'll check out later. Hello.
I mean, like, pretend you're doing a session or something here.
Welcome down the web. I don't know. I don't know what to say. So we gonna do the microphone bit, or?
We're not doing a microphone.
Hey,
Is
one cool thing, you notice that there's a
So-
stop timer on.
But, does anybody have a zip drive?
No, but we can connect to the networking.
It's an Ethernet network back there. We can take my notebook or something and slap it on.
It is Ethernet?
I think so.
Yeah,
They
then-
wouldn't have set up a token network.
Well, yeah, then we can just go and connect to the
Just
network.
take our PC over there and just slap it on and move it back over.
Yeah, meanwhile, back
Back to the ranch.
What file set are you?
It's FSET 8. That's what it's called. On the record. President of Pyramid Digital Solutions. For those of you that don't know me or Pyramid in general, our role in life is to leverage your investment in OmniPlan and OmniPlus. We develop add-on software in various arenas like data conversion, data collection, internet access, voice response, and plan setup and management. So those are the things we do currently, and each of those arenas is represented by an individual product. The two products we'll be talking about during this particular session is OmniImport and OmniRemote. The reason we've combined the workshop for both of those products is those products are complementary because they accomplish almost the same purpose and have the same target audience. Their purpose in life is to bring information in from your plan sponsor sites into OmniPlus. OmniImport also has the ability to convert plans from existing record-keeping systems if you're doing plan conversions or something like that, but the most common use is for recurring payroll information, indicative information coming in from your plan sponsor that you need converted to OmniPlus or OmniPlan compatible transactions. Now, as an organization, we've been in business for about running on 4 years now. We're a Sungard Solutions partner, so we have an exclusive arrangement with Sungard to develop these add-on solutions. We have access to the information we need in order to continue doing what we do. So we have a very strong partnership with them to do the product development that we do. OmniImport as a data conversion tool, the reason we developed it, And its primary mission in life is to allow business analysts or non-technical, non-programming staff to have an understanding of record keeping in general to be able to do data conversions. Historically, the way most organizations have approached data conversion is to have a programming staff or a programming person write COBOL programs or SAS jobs to do the data conversion. The problem with that is you're embedding all the knowledge of the conversion parameters in the source code of this program that is difficult to maintain, and once the programmer leaves the organization, you kind of lose that information. It's not maintainable, it's not reusable. The goal behind OmniImport is to have a graphical, intuitive, efficient way to define your conversion scenarios, save them, reuse them, because you will have commonalities between your various conversions that you do, and to have them in a maintainable format so someone can go back and look at them and say, okay, I understand what this conversion process is doing, instead of burying it in source code or programming code somewhere. Our overall vision for the product is to carry that concept further over time, deploy it to multiple platforms so we can use that same conversion scenario and target it on your target Omni Plus platform, Unix and mainframe and things like that. And we'll be talking about that during our future vision session as part of this workshop. I'd like to introduce at this point David Grubman, who is the product manager for OmniImport. What he'll be doing is walking you through the overall product architecture, just the data flow and how you go about doing a simple conversion, so you can see the steps involved in doing a simple conversion process, what the screens look like, and overall how it works. So I'll give the floor to him.
As David Shah mentioned, my name is David Groman. I'm the director of all PC-based product development for Pyramid Digital Solutions. One of the products that falls under that category is OmniImport and also OmniRemote, that we'll talk about afterwards. A couple of things I want to get before we start. We have marketing packs in the back of the room. We have product inserts that describe each of the products, and included in the pack of information that are around the room we generally leave. There's a CD included in the marketing pack, and we also have the same information available on floppy, also in the room. What we have installed, what we have on the CD is marketing information regarding the company in general. We also have slideshows that talk about some of our products in specifics, and we also have a working demonstration copy of OmniImport, a working demonstration copy of OmniRemote, as well as one of Plain Wizard. So please feel free to grab one of them. They're evaluation copies, and once you get them home, you can run them. There's no better way you guys are going to get an evaluation or get an understanding of what the products do than by playing them. Use them in your own situations, in your organization. Take some conversions that you do the traditional means, and try some using OmniImport. And I can do nothing better to sell the product and do that. You will see how easy it is to use, and you'll appreciate it for its power. What I'd like to do is walk through some aspects of the application. I'm not going to go through every screen and every aspect of what you need to do to convert information, but I'd like to bring up a couple of screens as part of the application so you get a look and feel for the types of files it works with, the type of data it converts. And please feel free to ask any questions that you want. As I say frequently, I'm from the technical side. I'm not a marketing person. If you ask me something about the product, I will tell you straight out what we can do and what we can't do. By misrepresenting the product, it only puts you guys in a bind. It puts us in even more of a bind. So feel free to ask any questions as we go along. OmniImport was released to the market
About 3.5 years ago was our first product. The install base right now exceeds 50 organizations. We have entire conversion teams of 8, 10, 12 people that use it 8 hours a day. That's all they eat, live, and breathe is OmniImport every day. So it's got a very strong user community. We had our first user meeting yesterday. Very enthusiastic, a lot of energy there. So.
Well, it's important to have the user community, our user group. We're very excited that we offer that this year. Because the product will continue to grow with input from you guys. And we had several prospective customers in there as well as several current customers. And it was great the feedback we got. It was really exciting. And I see through the crowd there are several people here that either own the product or evaluating it. I hope this gives you all the information you need. What I've done is I brought up the application. This is OmniImport. This is the desktop. And we have a screen here that describes, this screen is the, first of all, at the top of the screen, we use the term IDF. The file extension IDF stands for Input Definition File. The only reason why I mention it now is because I slipped into the technology and acronyms and all, refer to it as an IDF. But what an IDF is, it describes your input scenario. So that once you develop this import, this conversion scenario, you can reuse it across multiple plans, across multiple conversions, and reuse it month after month after month when you receive the information. I guess maybe step before that, OmniImport can be used for plan conversions of existing plans into Omni Plus or Omni Plan, depending on the plan customers here, to do the plan creation from an existing prior record keeping system. We also use it, I would say more so, for the recurring data that you'll receive monthly for payroll information or indicative data from your customers that you're receiving now in Excel spreadsheets or reports, or some cases you're receiving it on paper. When the customer is to the point of the sophistication, if they have the information on a record keeping system and or employee benefits or human resources system, if they can generate a report in Excel, in Lotus, flat files, or common limited files, we can take the information and generate Omni Plus transactions from it. This screen is the overall description of what the IDF or the import definition looks like. It talks about some general documentation information, tells you what the input file is, what it looks like, how many records are in it, how many transactions we're going to generate from the output, and then this term called actions, and an action is what we use to describe a connection from an input field to an output field. The first thing I'd like to show you is the way we define what your input looks like. This screen defines what the input looks like. The top left-hand section where the input file is, you need to tell the application where the file resides and what the file format is. The current file formats that we support are text-based. An example of that would be a report where all the information is received in column positions. The next one is text delimited, which is a frequent output from any existing human resource systems you might have. It's likely that it might generate or would generate a common delimited file. We support any single character delimiters for the delimited text. So you can delimit by vertical bars or commas, whatever your customer is sending. Excuse me. The next two, which are probably in the reverse order from frequency that you'll encounter, Lotus 123 spreadsheet files and Excel files. And one of the beautiful features that we introduced last year was the ability to go directly against the Lotus and Excel files. Typically, we have not encountered anybody that doesn't have to go into a Lotus spreadsheet and save the file off into another format before they can use it. Does anybody have the ability right now to go directly against the data file? Okay, that's one step. If we can save you any manual intervention from having to go in and touch the data or do any manipulation on the data, we feel that ensures the value, integrity, the correctness of the information, and also the efficiency of the whole task. So we have the ability to go directly against the spreadsheet files without having to go through any intermediate steps. And we're not using those technical things. We're not using any OLE2. It's a very quick, very performance. Yes.
Is it okay if we ask questions around?
Oh yeah, please.
We're probably not, unlike most record keepers, we struggle with getting data in the format we want to use it, so that's why we're interested in this product. Right. When you talk about being able to go directly against Lotus and Excel files, what if say our customer is providing an Excel file and the amount filled is 10 positions this month, and next month they change it to 12?
Is it 12 column or 12 positions?
Columns, like column width. Do we have to change the OmniImport setup, or does it know the width?
It knows the width and it doesn't care.
Okay.
This is more technical than you care to know, but the column width is not stored with the data. So when we go to retrieve the information, the column width is just an attribute of its presentation. It's not an attribute of the data.
Okay. So
they're stored separately and we just pull the information. You brought up a point. There's going to be changes that customers are going to make to your data as you guys are going to come up with these import definitions to bring in the information from your customer. And then next month they got a new intern working on those reports and they change the format of it and stuff. This is a very powerful, flexible tool, and you can simply go in most of these changes like what you described require no changes to the application.
Okay.
But even if they were to insert a new field, and say they're going to offer multiple loans and they want to do a multiple loan repayment, we can simply select in here, add a blank row. Wherever it falls in. And it's very, very simple to make changes. confusing. Obviously, you know, anytime the customer makes a change, you're going to have to make some change. But some changes the customer made aren't going to impact your inputs. The feature of the aspect that we're able to go against those spreadsheet files, we're really pleased with. The performance of it is exceptional, and it's mature. It's been in the product. We released it for conference last year, so it's something that I think we can offer you that not a lot of other systems can offer.
The other thing to remember, just as you're looking at Import, the product itself was tailored specifically for record keeping with a very clear focus on OmniPlan and OmniPlus. You will see that as we start looking at the output generation. So this is not a generic data conversion tool that we market to in everyone on the planet. This was written specifically for OmniPlan and OmniPlus for users of those record keeping systems to make it as easy as possible for data to be converted in. So we've taken extreme measures on how we do handle dates, name formatting, the transactions that we generate, so we have to go as little as possible because we have knowledge of the back-end record-keeping system already. All you really need to tell us is the input format. That's where your knowledge comes in.
And it's one thing I forgot to say today. This system was designed and built exactly for what you needed it to do. If it doesn't do something that you needed to do, please call me. Give me my card, and call me, and let's talk about it. The system is very suited for the task that you have before you.
How about OmniPay?
We also have some customers running OmniImport for OmniPay, and I can show you the transactions that are generated for OmniPay. Our expertise organizationally and with our developers is in OmniPlus and OmniPlan. So, yes, it will do it. We can work with you, but we don't have a lot of experience with it. But we have all the templates to generate the DE80 cards, and we can do whatever we work with them. Okay, Nation Bank is one company that we know uses it for, so we have reason to believe they use it for, whether they continue to use it, I'm not sure. And another company that was evaluating it, does not imply endorsement, certainly, but they're evaluating the product, is Wilmington. And they were looking at it. Any questions? Okay, what we have here before you is this is how you define, this is how you tell the application what the fields are on your input record. We use a COBOL convention. I don't want to go into great amount of detail. We use a COBOL convention to describe to the application what the fields look like. We do it because it's very well defined, and some number of people know it. In complexity of the application, the hardest thing in the entire application, the most amount of questions that we receive from our customers when they first bring in the product for business analysts that use a system is what's a COBOL fishing card. And that's the hardest part in the whole thing. Tell me what the fields look like, where they're located, what they look like, where they're located, and what to call it, free-form text, describe any, use any description you like, you have to be unique in the list. And then we've got some more complex record organization for when the participant information occurs in, say, a particular participant would have 5 records in a data file, or an undetermined number of records in a data file. You can do control breaks on individual fields in the record, or multiple fields in the record. And I can show you examples of that, but I don't want to go into a short amount of time. But all that is in the product. And I think it helps a lot for you guys to know when certain features were added to the product, so you have an understanding of the stability. Those features for the Excel spreadsheet and the variable and fixed block records were added for conference last year. So it's been in use for over a year, and it's stable, and people love it. And it's a very powerful means to process a lot of different types of data files.
From a historical perspective, the reason that variable length record stuff was added was for conversion specifically from Trustmark. The export that comes out of Trustmark has one or more records that it generates on its export for each participant. And OmniImport can now detect that back and say, okay, maybe the first participant has 1 record for their indicative information and 2 for fund records and 2 for loans, and the next one may not have any funds or any loans. So it handles that concept, and that was the reason specifically this was added.
This is certainly isn't where we intended on going, but since we're there, we'll finish the point. This is an example of data file. We can't see the numbers, but hopefully you can see by the shapes of the patterns that you see here. The first group has indicating records 1 through the number 7, and all common Social Security number. And then the next group, there's only 3. Well, the application is smart enough to either detect that the new block started with this code, which is VE01, which just indicates the beginning of the series, or you can do it a control break on the social security number change. I don't need to just glance over this, but but with the installation diskette, this file is included on there, as well as the file that processes it. So play with it, look at it. It's not something I think you're going to see a lot, but the application was handled wonderfully. Okay, that's the input. The input is defined. You want to test it to make sure it looks like you expect it. Okay, we got some header records. Here's some data. Normally in a real situation, I go in and find out why these values are 0, but I just jump data in my test file. So we know the input looks okay. And the next point where the value is really, we got validation. The next aspect of the application where we feel we add value to what you guys are trying to do is we provide you with all the template definitions for all of the Omni Plus, Omni Pay, Omni Plan, and all future versions of these applications. We provide you with the templates. We know what the transactions look like, so we supply you with the templates for you to use in your application. This screen here is a high level of these are the transactions that this input scenario is going to generate, and it indicates the type of transaction that it is. We have the ability to generate detail transactions. An example of a detailed transaction is for every input record, this detailed transaction will be generated. We also have the ability to generate header and trailer transactions, where a header record, for example, a T002 transaction, can be automatically added to your file as part of the import scenario. And the trailer record is, we also have the ability to create a trailer record, which will occur once per file generated at the end of the file. An example of using that would be either for your own custom control totals or for T104 transaction to summarize the plan totals for a contribution. There's some other stuff up there, flags and attributes. All of our suite of products are running on the machines in the back of the room. In between sessions, please feel free, sit down, play with them. We can go through some input scenarios. I can go into greater detail of any of the situations that you guys are encountering. Call home, have them send over a data file, we can play with it. This screen here tells us what transactions are generated. The first thing we need to do is bring up the list of predefined templates. This is the list of templates broken out over the tree structure. And we supply you with this list of templates, and we break them down based on the application type. Those are the application types that we have defined currently. As Sungard releases new versions of the application, we know about it before you. We can get the templates for all the transactions hopefully before they send the product to you, but certainly before you guys will have to worry about generating transactions. As each version, some of the changes that Sungard has to do for the year 2000 is going to require you to change the transactions. And I know that's probably going to introduce some problems to those people that are feeding back-end systems and have other feeds. But nonetheless, they have to change some of the transactions. As they come out with each series, we will add items to this tree structure, and we will have the appropriate transactions defined within the tree structure. So let's say for this example, I wanted to generate a 301 transaction. Simply select it from the list, hit OK. It populates the description and all the fields for all the fields that make up the transaction. Then you simply connect the two, and you're done. Is there any questions? I hate to go through this stuff so fast, but I don't want to cut our OmniRemote product short.
The list of templates that we see here are comprehensive. It's not selected ones that we feel useful. We went through the entire transaction manual that Omni Plus and Omni Plan have, and we have templates in there for every transaction that ever was, never will be. So,
also part of the templates, if you would like to bring this in-house for use with your other existing systems, we also give you the ability at the bottom of the page to define your own user-defined ones. that you can also select that you can define what your output transactions are going to look like, and define them and save them off for reuse later.
The most common use for that we've seen from clients is they will default out of the field on like a contribution transaction or an enrollment transaction. Generally what you do is you take the template that we provide you, the P800 template, set the default values to whatever you want them to be, save that as a customized template, and you can reuse that custom enrollment transaction template for subsequent import scenarios.
And we also see it in regards to generating information for your Trustmark system or any other system that you guys have in-house. We've talked to a number of companies that are in the process of converting their stuff over from one record keeping system to another, where they anticipate keeping some level of plans on another record keeping system. If they process 80-byte cards, we can, or you can, or we can, in conjunction with you, deploy if it is a well-known record keeping system, you may have a problem with it, but personally I don't have a problem with shipping with the product templates for other record keeping systems. It's not something that we talk a lot about, but yes.
You mentioned 80-byte cards, is that the maximum?
Oh, no. It's just that we do that very well. And
Is
that's
there a
the
maximum input or output record length?
Yes, there is, somewhere around 32,000. And I hope you're not doing that. We have customers that we know of that run the product with 1,600-byte cards. The product was optimized for 80-byte cards. I'll be honest with you, that's what it was optimized for. But it does process other record lengths. On the screen prior to this, it gives you the opportunity to indicate what your output record length is, and the input record length is assumed by the field that you provide. Yes?
I've got a question, and I'm qualified, but I know enough to be dangerous, and I have a big person in this workshop. With Omni Plus, there's this extension on the participant number, social security number, versus Omni Plan, or Omni Plus. Do your cards have the codes and the format that handle those extensions, because we're going to be utilizing that?
Absolutely, before you use it, we will, but right now we don't.
How soon?
We can have it within a week, but I don't know what.
No one's asked for it yet, but the actual process is less than an hour to actually create that template.
Okay.
Right, and the templates, let me show you, these templates are brought up from our definition. So once you bring up the template, you can make whatever changes necessary to the template once it's generated, and you can put in your social security.
It's released but not in a lot of use.
Okay.
For their very specific organizations that have a use for that subpart.
The Sungard is released some of these systems to only specific customers. So the information may not be generally available, but we can certainly get to go over there. The changes to be made in here are trivial, and maybe we can make the changes to support the version. And for reproduction for this conference, we had to have these diskettes generated some time ago. It's in our packet, so we haven't really had it up to date.
I guess I need to get specific. I'm going to have a need to bring data in and utilize that extension field for contributions and everything.
Right.
How do I make that request? We're getting ready to sign a contract with
Right.
include this product.
Right. Well,
And
you
I
just
make
did,
that
so
request.
it should be available probably by the next meeting.
Oh, certainly. And you know, give us a call when you receive the software that you're anxious to go. We are located in Birmingham, so we have close ties with the folks at Sungard, and we can go over there in an afternoon and sit down with the guys and get the templates for the transaction. It's kind of hard because right now there's new transaction templates emerging for the yeah. So there's so many new transactions coming out right now, and they're so easy for us to sit down with our programming staff or even our administrators to go through and define these transactions for you guys. It's just a matter of, we don't want to keep laying out the transactions and coming up with the templates until they're set with what they're doing. But certainly if they're set enough to ship to a version, then we can ship to a version of templates as well.
Now, from a feature set standpoint, we don't want to go into too much detail, but once again, the product has been in wide use for a number of years now, so we support most of the things you will ever dream of, like implied decimals,
Overpunch cards,
characters.
the different types of
we don't want to get into a laundry list of
Right,
features,
right.
but most things that you will think of, someone else has already thought of and you already support.
Strip out
I'll be
the
very
data.
surprised if you can come up with something that OmniImport does not do yet. In fact, I think it'll make his day if you can find something.
Well, there's a couple of opportunities that I'll offer questions, and I love the questions because I can very easily say, yeah, we do it well, and I can show It's not something that's in the back of our heads or a paper or somewhere on a board.